Good morning everyone. Welcome to Vidya Mandir online classes. This is Venkat sir. So today we are going to discuss the purification methods of organic compounds. So what is the necessity of purifying the organic compound? In how many ways we can purify the organic compound? Let us see. First of all, in nature, if you see, most of the compounds will not be in the pure form. They will be along with some undesirable components. Means that undesirable components are nothing but along with impurities. So before we are going to analyze the characteristics or the properties of the compound, we need to purify that organic compound. Okay, so in nature, most of the compounds, most of the organic compounds are in impure form. Impure form. Impure form means along with compound, some impurities also present. So we need to remove this, eliminate these impurities before we study about the properties or the characteristics of the compound. The method, there were so many purification methods are there. And the type of the method that we decide is based upon nature of impurity and also nature of organic compound. So the method of purifying this given organic compound based on the nature of the impurity present in it and the nature of the organic compound, we decide the method. Let us see, in general, to purify the solids, suppose if the organic compounds is in solid state. So solids can be purified by mainly three ways. One is sublimation. The next one, crystallization. Third one, fractional crystallization. So in three ways we can purify the solid organic compounds. Suppose if the given compound is in liquid state, the liquids can purify by distillation, fractional distillation, steam distillation, distillation under reduced pressure, Next one, solvent extraction, and the recently introduced technique, that is chromatography. So these are the methods that we are going to discuss in this part of the video. So that is, solids can be purified by either sublimation, crystallization or fractional crystallization techniques, whereas liquid organic compounds can be purified by distillation, fractional distillation, steam distillation, distillation under reduced pressure. These all are distillation techniques, different types of distillation techniques. And then solvent extraction, finally chromatography. So let us discuss these different types of purification methods one by one. So the first one, sublimation technique. So as we already discussed, sublimation technique is used to purify organic solids. It is used to purify what? Solid organic compounds. First of all, you should know what is sublimation. Sublimation is nothing but the conversion of solid components, solids, into gases. Solids are directly converting into gases without intermediate liquid state. On heating, if you heat the solids, these solids are directly converting into gases without intermediate liquid state, and that process we call it as what? Sublimation. And again, this sublimation technique is a reversible technique. So if you collect these vapors and if you condense them, if you condense the collected vapors, again these gases are converting back into solid again. So this entire process we call it as what? Sublimation technique. Mainly this sublimation technique, when we will use to purify, which compounds we will follow, let us say. Generally the sublimation technique is used to separate volatile components or volatile substances from non-volatile substances. So what is the difference between volatile and non-volatile? Best example, you take petrol and water. If you keep the petrol in an open vessel, it's having high vapor pressure. So it will be evaporate. Whereas water also will evaporate, but its rate of evaporation is less. So it takes some more time to evaporate. So petrol is having high vapor pressure, whereas water is having less vapor pressure. So volatile components or volatile liquids are nothing but the liquids which are having very high vapor pressure. Those liquids we call it as what? Volatile liquids. And the liquids which are having less vapor pressure, then those liquids we call it as what? Non-volatile liquids. Okay, so to separate volatile components from non-volatile components, especially volatile solids, to separate volatile solids from non-volatile solids, we follow this sublimation technique. Or else to separate sublimable substances from non-sublimable substances. To separate sublimable substances from non-sublimable substances, we follow this sublimation technique. Then how would you know that this is a sublimable substance or not? So sublimable substances are nothing but the substances which can undergo sublimation. Those substances are called what? Sublimable substances. The remaining all other called non-sublimable substances. Here I will give you examples for sublimable substances. To purify or to separate those sublimable substances, we follow this sublimation technique. Yes, what are the compounds which are undergoing sublimation? So I will write the examples here, just remember that. So whenever these compounds are there in the mixture, to purify or to separate those substances, we follow this sublimation technique. So examples for sublimable sublimation is benzoic acid, naphthalene, anthracene, phthalic anhydride, anthraquinone, indigo, iodine, iodine, camphor, dry ice. Dry ice is nothing but solid carbon dioxide. Okay, then HgCl2, mercury chloride, and sulfur dioxide, and finally ammonium chloride. These all are what? Sublimable substances. Okay, so to purify or to separate these components from others, we follow this sublimation technique. Okay, ma. So once again, these examples are very important. Benzoic acid, naphthalene, anthracene, phthalic anhydride, anthraquinone, indigo, iodine, camphor, you know that. Dry ice, mercury chloride, sulfur dioxide, finally ammonium chloride. These are all components we can purify by the technique of sublimation. The next technique, crystallization technique. So as we know, the crystallization technique, it is used to purify solids as like sublimation. Even this crystallization technique also is used to purify solid substances. And when we follow this crystallization technique, this technique is used to separate the two solids. So in the mixture, let us consider two solid substances are there, which are differ in their solubilities in a particular solvent. In a particular solvent, those two solids are having different solubility capability and different solubility capacities. I just give you an example. You take the mixture of sugar and salt. Sugar and salt. How can you separate? Sugar and salt, they both are solids. So we can separate this by following this crystallization technique. Let us see how. Take this mixture, you dissolve this in ethanol. You dissolve this mixture in ethanol. After the dissolution, sugar is soluble. Sugar is soluble in ethanol, but salt is insoluble. So it remains as crystals only. Simply by filtration, you separate the salt. Then the remaining is what? Sugar in ethanol. Simply by the crystallization. Generally, if you take hot ethanolic solution of sugar, now in the mixture, what is there? Sugar is only present. Why? Because salt have been crystallized and have been separated by filtration. Now you take the hot ethanolic mixture and you cool it. Decrease the temperature. If you slowly decrease the temperature, whatever the sugar that was dissolved in ethanol slowly will crystallizes out. So the pure crystals of sugar came out. So likewise, we can separate the sugar from the sugar salt mixture. Generally, what are the components? What is the procedure we follow? I am just taking impure mixture I have taken here. Impure mixture. And this impure mixture generally sparingly soluble in cold water. If you take the cold water, it is sparingly soluble, not completely insoluble, not completely highly soluble. Sparingly, partially soluble. The same impure mixture, if you heat it, if you dissolve directly in the hot water, it is soluble. Okay, soluble means suppose if this impure mixture having two components, one component is completely insoluble even in hot water, other component is soluble. So one component was soluble and the remaining what? Impurities are separated out. Impurities are separated. Now this soluble is in solution form, hot solution form. If you decrease the temperature, means if you cool it, this on cooling, now the component which is in soluble form will slowly crystallizes out. So this generally the procedure of crystallization. Already we discussed this crystallization technique is used to separate the two solid components which are differing in their solubility in a particular solvent. Now I'll give you examples. So one is already given. One is what? Sugar plus salt by using ethanol. And the second one, KClO3 in KCl in water. If you take the potassium chlorate and potassium chloride, KClO3, this is a less soluble and this is more soluble because of difference in their solubilities. The component, and one more thing, while you are crystallizing, the component which is lesser soluble will crystallize first. For example, in cold water, they both are sparingly soluble. Let us consider. In cold water, they both are sparingly soluble. In hot water, both are soluble. In hot water, they both are soluble, but their solubility, this is less soluble, this is more soluble. Now, you slowly decreasing the temperature, means you are cooling that mixture. If you cool it, which component will crystallize first? The component which is the lesser soluble will crystallize first. So, if you crystallize this mixture, first KClO3 will crystallizes. You separate the crystals by filtration. Thereafter, the KCl will crystallizes out. Okay, so this is second example. And also the benzoic acid. Benzoic acid, by using water, we can purify in this crystallization technique. And there is a small difference between crystallization and fractional crystallization. Suppose, if the two solid components' solubility difference is large, there is a huge difference in their solubilities, we follow crystallization technique. Suppose, if the two solids whose solubilities difference is minute, very less, in that case, we do the same technique, crystallization technique, repeatedly 4 to 5 times or more than that. If you repeat this crystallization process, then we can separate the two solid components from the mixture. And that technique we call it as what? Fractional crystallization. Fractional crystallization technique that we follow when the two solid components whose solubility difference is very minute. Then we follow fractional crystallization technique. So these are the three techniques we follow to purify solids. Now we discuss the techniques that we use to purify liquids. The first technique that we use to purify the liquids is distillation. This is also we call it as simple distillation. Simple distillation. So this is used to purify liquids, or to separate the liquids whose boiling point difference is greater than or equal to 40 degrees. You just take the mixture that is having two liquids, liquid A, liquid B. Liquid A, liquid B, boiling point difference is what? Greater than or equal to 40 degrees. Then we follow this simple distillation technique. Okay, for example, you take aniline and benzene. Okay, aniline and benzene, whose boiling point difference is almost 50 degrees. And aniline and chloroform, and ether and toluene. So likewise, few examples are there, few mixture of examples. Those all mixtures can separate by following this simple distillation technique. Yes, what is the simple distillation? If you know the technique, distillation process, then you can understand. So take the mixture that is having the liquid A and liquid B. Let us consider. And liquid A is having low boiling point and liquid B is having high boiling point. Let us consider. Now you take this mixture and you heat it, boil it. When you boil it, when you slowly increase the temperature, among the A and B, which liquid will evaporate and will boil? Generally A. Why? Because the boiling point is lesser. So the temperature first reaches to the boiling point of A. So A will boil off or vaporize. Vapors of A. Vapors of A. Now you collect these vapors. Collect the vapors of A. Then cool it or condense. That process we call it as condensation. Condensation means conversion of vapors to liquid. By cooling, that process we call it as what? Condensation. So after the collection of vapors of A, if you do the condensation, then we will get the liquid A separately. Okay. So then if you continue heating, further heating, what happens when the temperature reaches the boiling point of B? Then it also will boil off. You collect the vapors of B, cool it, undergo the condensation, then here liquid B will separate out. Likewise, we can separate the liquid A and liquid B from the mixture by successive heating and cooling. First step is what? Heating. The second step is cooling. By successive heating and cooling, if you separate the two liquids from the mixture, then that process we call it as what? Simple distillation technique. And this technique we follow when the boiling point difference between the two liquids is greater than or equal to 40 degrees, then we follow this simple distillation technique. And examples: the mixture of aniline and benzene. Next one, the mixture of aniline and chloroform, and the mixture of ether and toluene, and a mixture of benzene and nitrobenzene, and mixture of ether and ethanol. So likewise we can give, okay, no need to remember the boiling points, you just remember A, B, A, C, E, T, okay, B, N, E. Likewise first initial letters I remember, likewise you also remember. So these are the few examples of mixtures that we can separate by following simple distillation technique. Next, move to the second technique, that is what? Fractional distillation. Fractional distillation. So the difference between simple distillation and fractional distillation, the process remains same, but in addition to this heating and cooling, here in this technique we use a special apparatus. What is it? Fractionating column. Fractionating column along with a thermometer, fitted with a thermometer, we use additionally to this distillation technique. Okay, that is why we are calling this technique as fractional distillation technique. So in this technique, we follow the process of distillation in addition to, along with fractionating column. Column fitted with thermometer. Fitted with thermometer, we additionally use to this simple distillation, so called fractional distillation. You may get the doubt in when we follow distillation and when we follow fractional distillation. I already told you, simple distillation technique we follow when there was a difference, boiling point difference is greater than or equal to 40 degrees. Whereas fractional distillation we follow when the boiling point difference is less than 40 degrees. Suppose if the boiling point difference is very less, okay, for example, water will boil at 100 and ethanol will boil at 95, so the difference is what? 5 degrees only. So when the boiling point difference is lesser than 40 degrees, then we follow fractional distillation technique. Okay, here examples for this, that is benzene plus toluene, benzene plus chloroform, and ether and chloroform. So these are the mixtures we can separate, and also fractional distillation technique we follow in petrol industries also. So in a petrol industry, first they collect the crude oil. From the crude oil, they separate petrol, diesel, okay, kerosene. So these all based on the fractional distillation technique only. Okay, so these are the examples for fractional distillation. The next technique is steam distillation. So steam distillation. This technique is used. It is used to purify the component which is highly volatile. When the compound is highly volatile and the impurities present on its mixture is non-volatile. Understood? The compound is highly volatile, whereas the impurities present in that mixture are non-volatile. And this technique is used when the compound do not decompose at steam temperature. So this technique is used to purify or to separate the compounds which cannot or which do not decompose at steam temperature, and also having more affinity towards steam. So this compound having more affinity towards steam, okay, and also insoluble in water. When they fulfill these conditions, then we can follow this technique. Once again, when the compound present in the mixture is highly volatile, whereas its impurities are non-volatile, when the compound do not decompose at steam temperature, or the compound having more affinity towards steam and which is less soluble, which is almost insoluble in the water, then those compounds can purify by the steam distillation technique. Simple. You take the mixture, send the steam into the surface of the mixture, then this compound having, because of more affinity towards steam, it will go along with the steam, and you collect that steam vapors. You can easily separate that compound from the steam by other some techniques. So this is what steam distillation. And examples. What are the compounds which can purify or which can separate by the steam distillation technique? Aniline, nitrobenzene, next one, salicylaldehyde, bromobenzene, orthohydroxy acetophenone, turpentine oil, essential oils from fruits and flowers, etc. These all compounds can purify by steam distillation technique. So once again, aniline, nitrobenzene, salicylaldehyde, bromobenzene, orthohydroxy acetophenone, and then turpentine oil, essential oils from flowers, etc. These all can be purified by steam distillation techniques. Then the next technique, that is what? Distillation under reduced pressure. Distillation technique, we follow the same distillation technique, but we are reducing the pressure. Why and when we follow this technique? Generally, this technique, distillation under reduced pressure, this technique we follow this technique when the compound that we are going to separate or we are going to purify, that compound is decomposed at their regular or usual boiling point. See that when the temperature reaches their boiling point, then that compound, what happen, will decompose. In that case, to purify that components, but to in a distillation technique, we should boil that mixture to their boiling point, then only they will come to the vapor form. Then you collect that vapors and following the condensation, we can separate out. Okay, in distillation technique, we should heat it, but when we heat this to its boiling point, these compounds are decomposing. Then, how can we purify? Let us see that. Take the mixture, you heat it, but while you are heating this mixture, while you are heating this compound, you reduce the pressure. If you decrease the pressure, what happened? Their boiling point will decrease. For example, that compound, the compound A, whose boiling point is 323 degree kelvins. Let us consider its boiling point is 323. But because of decreasing the pressure, their boiling point, new boiling point will be 313 kelvins. Okay, so if that mixture is heating along with reducing the pressure, when the temperature reaches 313 kelvins, then the vapors will come and you collect those vapors. Following by the condensation, we can easily separate from this compound from the mixture. Okay, so once again, this technique is used when the compound usually decompose at their regular boiling point. Okay, so by reducing the pressure, we are first decreasing the boiling point of the compound. Following by the simple distillation technique, we are separating the compound from the mixture. Examples: what are the compounds that we can purify by this technique? That is glycerin, H2O2, hydrogen peroxide, formaldehyde. Next one, spent lye, glycerol separating from spent lye. While in the soap industry, they use glycerol and also spent lye. So they separate this glycerol from the spent lye. They follow this technique. And also sugar cane juice, increasing the concentration of sugar cane juice in sugar industry. So these all are purifying by this technique, distillation under reduced pressure. Next, solvent extraction. Solvent extraction, this is also we call it as differential extraction. Solvent extraction, also called differential extraction. So how can we, and when we follow this solvent extraction, this technique we follow when the compound is separating from its aqueous solution. So when we follow, whenever the compound is in its aqueous solution, to separate that compound from its aqueous solution, we follow the solvent extraction. How? What will we do? So we separate it from its aqueous solution by shaking this, by shaking it with the addition of organic solvent to it. So what we are doing to separate that compound from its aqueous solution, I am adding an organic solvent. As we know, the aqueous solvent and organic solvent, they both are immiscible. Like for example, if you add water and kerosene, what happened? Water layer, kerosene layer, two layers. So without mixing uniformly, if they form layers, then that is called what? Immiscible. So after the addition of organic solvent to the aqueous solution, but organic solvent and aqueous solvents, they both are what? Immiscible. Immiscible means there was a two layers. One is aqueous layer, another one is organic layer. And when you compare the aqueous layer and organic layer density is more. Always bottom layer is aqueous layer, upper layer is what? Organic layer. Okay, and when you compare this compound having more affinity or more soluble in organic solvent, why? Because organic substance always likes to dissolve in organic solvents. So when you add, so the compound is more soluble in organic solvent, and it is less soluble in aqueous water. Okay, aqueous solvent. So when to this compound, by adding organic solvent, if you shake it, because of having more solubility towards organic solvent, the compound is soluble in organic solvent completely. So here I am using a separating funnel. So in this differential extraction, we are using separating funnel. So it's like this. You take the aqueous solution first, add the organic solvent. Here this is a aqueous layer and this is organic layer. So after you completely shake it, the compound is completely soluble in organic solvent. By open this tap, you can separate this organic layer. So remaining is what? Completely the compound which is completely dissolved in organic solvent. So from that organic solvent, you can easily separate the organic compound by following any one of the above techniques. Okay, so best example for this solvent extraction is benzoic acid. Benzoic acid is separating from its aqueous solution by adding which solvent? Benzene. Benzoic acid from its aqueous solution is separating by adding benzene solvent. So this is the best example for this solvent extraction. Okay, so the next one, chromatography technique, that we will discuss in the next part of my video. Okay, until then, take care, bye bye.